What's up, guys? D-Rock1992 here. For this next video and for my next movie review, I'm going to be reviewing a Marvel movie from last year that was not Avengers Age of Ultron. If you remember from last year, I reviewed Avengers Age of Ultron, and I gave it a complete 5 out of 5 stars. I really loved the film. It was such a good film. This movie coming up that I'm going to talk about is the next Marvel movie in the cinematic universe, the one that came after Age of Ultron. It was the 12th film of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that movie is Ant-Man. Ant-Man, when I heard about Ant-Man at first, you know, I think a lot of people, when they heard about Ant-Man at first, they weren't sure it was going to work. I mean, like, come on. Ant-Man? Are you serious? It's kind of like people saying that, to me, it's kind of like what people are saying said about Aquaman before in the past, you know. Oh, Aquaman, he sucks. And it just seems like Ant-Man would be in that same boat, was kind of in that same boat with fans. Now, there was a director that originally was going to direct the film named Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright was the director. Well, he was you know, originally he was the director of what's called the Three Flavors Cornetto film trilogy, which was Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. So, and he was involved with other films as well. So Edgar Wright was slated to direct this film at first, left the project due to creative differences with Marvel, and in comes Peyton Reed, who had directed some romantic comedies. You know, The Breakup, Bring It On. Well, Bring It On wasn't really a romantic comedy, but he directed such films as Bring It On, The Breakup, Yes Man. So this guy, they were putting in as the replacement for Edgar Wright. And I mean, by then, people were expecting that this movie was going to be a bomb, that it was not going to do well. More on that later, but right now, Ant-Man stars Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, and I gotta say, when I heard about this casting, I was surprised. I mean, Paul Rudd, to me, is like the king of romantic comedies. He's in a lot of romantic comedies and all that stuff. You know, just a guy known for that. So, I wasn't really sure what he would bring to the table. You have Evangeline Lilly, Corey Stoll, Bobby Cannavale, Michael Pena, T.I. Harris, the rapper, Michael Douglas. So, several big names in this movie, for sure. So the movie itself is about Scott Lang / Ant-Man. Scott Lang is this petty thief who gets out of prison determined to change his livelihood, to change himself for his daughter. Well, he's selected by this man named Dr. Hank Pym, who developed this technology that allows a person to shrink in size and also grow in size as well. But it's mainly shrinking. Anyway, the main thing is shrinking. Is to shrink and all that. So, Scott Lang has to help Dr. Hank Pym defeat a former partner of Dr. Hank Pym, before he uses Pym's technology to his own advantage, and also along the way, Lang wants to be able to live a life with his daughter, to have his daughter view him as something other than a common thief. So that's pretty much what the main gist of the plot is. Paul Rudd, like I said, played Ant-Man. And as far as characterization goes, Paul Rudd knocked it out of the park. He was really good as Ant-Man. He had the right combination of dramatic moments, and he had comedic elements as well. This is kind of a comedy. This is a Marvel film with a lot of comedy elements, and Paul Rudd did supply that comedy for sure. Michael Douglas plays Dr. Hank Pym, the creator of the Ant-Man technology, and I have to say, he steals the show. As much as Paul Rudd was very good in this movie, Michael Douglas was the star of this film. He really performed well as Dr. Hank Pym. He was kind of the father figure / mentor person to Paul Rudd's Ant-Man, and he just did a great job at it. Michael Douglas is one of the finest actors we've ever had, so, his resume speaks for itself. So Michael Douglas did a great job in this movie. Evangeline Lilly plays Dr. Hank Pym's daughter, Hope Pym, and she does a good job. She's a solid kind of turns into a love interest of Ant-Man after, at first, she isn't a love interest, but then turns into more so a love interest in a way, and she's invested in the whole Ant-Man technology thing as well, and she does a good solid job in this movie. Corey Stoll plays the villain, who is a partner of Dr. Hank Pym, who plans to use Dr. Hank Pym's technology for his own gains, and he does a nice job as the villain. He really does. He does a good job as the main villain. And then the other one that I really want to give two people that I really want to give a shout out to are Michael Pena and T.I. as as Scott Lang's partners. Scott Lang's partners. They're good. They provide a lot of comedic moments in this movie, and they serve the story pretty well as far as comedy goes. Overall, what I thought of this movie was that I thought it was a very good movie. It was very good. I think, like I said, a lot of people anticipated this movie to be a flop, a big failure, but it wasn't. It was a solid Marvel film. Was it the best Marvel film in the whole series? No, it wasn't, but it definitely is a fine Marvel installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's just like Guardians of the Galaxy all over again, pretty much. It's like, with Guardians of the Galaxy, a lot of the general public did not know what Guardians of the Galaxy was, and they thought, Marvel doing this? I don't know. But then they saw the movie, and Guardians of the Galaxy was a big smash hit. Ant-Man was not a big smash hit, but it was a nice hit for Marvel. It really was. And there were enough people out there that enjoyed the film so much that it is a popular film. It is a popular film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now. Underrated if you look at the Captain America films, the Iron Man films, the Avengers, and all that good stuff, but still a fine Marvel film. It really is. And I have to give this a 4 out of 5 stars, 4 for very good. Again, I think it's a very nice entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So far, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I have not hated a single film. I have not thought a film was disappointing or anything like that. I really have enjoyed all of them. So, it's kind of like the James Bond franchise for me. Really, when you get down to it, there is not really a single film in the Bond franchise that I don't like. I like all of them for different reasons and all that. And it's the same thing with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think it's, again, yeah, Ant-Man is a fine entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they're coming with a sequel called Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is coming out in 2018. So in a couple of years, Ant-Man and the Wasp will be coming to theaters. So I can't wait for that. That should be an exciting film. So that is it for this video on my Ant-Man movie review. D-Rock 1992 out.